Hi everyone, it's Burak Aras from TCA. Today I got two meals for you from Europe. The first one is a soup, French onion soup, a classical French soup. And the second one is coming from Italy, spaghetti Puttanesca. It's a great pasta dish for you and they're both super easy. Let's start. So I'm starting with my onions for my French onion soup. Like we need 4 or 5, depends how big they are, onions. Like I'm using big onions, so like I'm going to use around 4 or 5, but like you can use more if you got smaller ones. The first thing we got to do is like we got to slice them, then we're going to caramelize them for the soup, because like for this soup the caramelized onion is a must. You have to caramelize your onions really well, otherwise you're not going to get any taste from the soup. So like for that I'm starting with my onions, slicing and caramelizing them. So for this, like if you make it thin, you're not going to get any flavor. So that's why I'm making, as you can see, like little bit thick onions. So like when they get caramelized, they're not going to melt. So that's why that's important. Little thick slices for caramelizing the onions. So like I'm going to chop all of my onions. Then of course after caramelizing we're going to add some herbs and spices and of course wine for the soup. And it's going to be delicious. And you're going to see it, it's super easy to make. Like it's not going to take long time and you don't need to do anything special. It's coming by itself. The only thing is you need to caramelize your onions well. That's it. Like if you want you can slice them thinner, but like since it's an onion soup I like them kind of thicker. That's why I'm slicing them a little bit thick. And this is going to be my last onion. It's going to be enough since my onions are really big. If you got smaller onions, you can use more, and it depends how much you want to make. Like if you want to make it more, of course you need to use more onion. For me right now, 3 big onions will be enough. Again, my last thing, I'm slicing my onions and I'm going to start caramelizing. Okay, great. So for caramelizing, I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil. Some olive oil. So your fire needs to be like medium or medium low, because like if you're going to do it on high fire, you're just going to burn your onions, not going to caramelize them. So that's why like you need to use a little bit smaller fire. So you need to get the sugar of the onion, like sugar from the onion. So like when you get that, you're going to have the perfect caramelized onions. Like of course you can add a little bit more sugar inside of it for like better caramelization, for better color. We're going to use it anyways, but like without using sugar, still you can make caramelized onions. But the only thing you need to be careful about is like not using high fire, not burning them. You want to caramelize them. So like I'm waiting for my oil to heat. You can use any vegetable oil if you want, but like for me, with vegetable olive oil, it's tastier. So I'm going to do it with olive oil. So after that, I'm going to add onions in my pot. And like they're going to shrink. Don't think that's too much onion. Since the name is onion soup,
you need onions, of course, but like when you caramelize it, you're going to get shrimp. Like, you're not going to see that much onion inside of it. That's why like I'm using a little bit thick cuts. So like, if you don't like that much thick cuts, of course you can go with smaller ones, no problem at all. So first I'm going to stir it a little bit, then I'm just going to let it caramelize by itself. I'm not going to touch that much. I'm just going to stir sometimes, then going to add a little bit sugar, and that's it. As you can see, we are caramelizing it right now. Make sure they all fall apart from each other. After that, like, you can just close the lid. You can check your fire a little bit, then let it caramelize by itself. So after that, like, we need some spices for our soup, like that's going to give the flavor to it. For the spice bag, I'm going to use a spice bag. I'm not going to put them directly in the soup. It's going to be easier for you, so it's like you can just take it out, then consume your soup. Like, I got dried herbs. Normally in French soup, they're using thyme, just thyme, but like, I love the taste of bay leaf and rosemary. So I'm adding bay leaf and rosemary as well. Or like, but if you want to keep it with the original one, you can just add thyme and make it just like that. But in here, I'm using 1 bay leaf, some dried thyme or oregano, and a little bit of rosemary, which will give a good flavor. But don't use it too much, or it's going to make it bitter. And like, I'm going to add 1 clove of garlic inside of it, because like, you know, the onion and the garlic are the best friends, so you don't need to use. But like, I'm just going to put it in my bag and just take it out. So like, I'm not going to saute it or going to keep it in my soup all the time, just for the little bit of flavor of the garlic and the aroma. So that's it. And when it's done, I'm going to take it out with my herbs well also. I'm checking my onions, they're sweating. That's what we want to see. Like, if your onions are sweating like that, so like, you're doing it right, you're on the right way. Because like, if you make it too quick, like I said, if you're not sweated like that, you're doing something wrong. It's not going to be caramelized, but that's the look we want. It's going to take around 30 minutes or to 40 minutes. It depends how many onions you're using exactly. But the thing is, like, for this much, it's going to take around 30 to 35 minutes. Then we're going to deglaze the bottom with some wine. Also, you can use brandy too if you want, but like, for me, the wine and brandy together kind of heavy. So that's why today I'm just going to use wine. But like, you can use brandy and wine, or just brandy. But like, wine is kind of a must. If you don't like alcohol, if you're like liquor free, you can use a good quality vinegar. Or you can just flambe your wine and just get rid of the alcohol from your wine. That's no problem. It depends how you like it. So right now in here, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, not too much, to make caramelization better. So like, just a pinch of sugar I am adding to help the caramelization. Just a little bit, and like, stir it with sugar. Stir it with sugar and let it sweat more, let it cook. For our second recipe, we need some ingredients. Like spaghetti Puttanesca. Puttanesca is a great sauce, which is from Italy, of course, the capital of the pasta. Like, it has simple ingredients, yet it's so flavorful. It's so rich. For the main ingredients, we need olives. So like, if you use big olives, it's better. It's going to look prettier. It's going to look better. But like, you can use any kind of black olives, of course. Like right now I have this kind of olive. So like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a small cut, open it, just going to take the seed out and use it as whole. I'm not going to do any chopping or whatever. So like a small cut and get the seed out inside from the olive like that and use it just like that. So that's what we're going to do for our whole olives for the pasta this time. I'm going to do it with spaghetti, but it's up to you. Like, if you want, you can use penne or like some thicker pastas, thicker than spaghetti. It's going to hold the sauce better. But like in this one, I'm using spaghetti. And it's from Naples, from Italy. Like, it got some different variations. Like some recipes have anchovy, some recipes don't. Today I'm going to make it with anchovy. But like, if you don't like anchovy, you can use tuna or just without any fish product. But like, for that umami taste, for that flavor, for that savory taste, I recommend you to use anchovy rather than tuna, because like, tuna is some product that like it's coming from can mostly, so like it's not going to be as flavorful as the So let's check our onions. As you can see, they're changing color, they're getting softer and softer. So, and like, as you can see, we got caramelized bits just underneath the onions. So we're just going to deglaze them with wine when they're all caramelized. When we got the brown color from the onions, we're just going to use and deglaze the onion, the bits of here with wine. So, but like first they need to get brown, like a dark brown, like darkish brown, because like we need the broth of it like brown. We don't want to have white broth from classical onion soup. That's why we're going to wait for the best color. Like we shouldn't rush. We need to give some time to onion to get caramelized, to get that color that we want, the good goldenish brown color, which gives color to the broth as well. That's why you need to make it sure you caramelize your onions well. You need to wait at least 30 to 40 minutes to caramelize them. So just don't rush, wait until everything is well caramelized. And we'll keep doing the other things with our soup when they're all caramelized. So let's check our onions once more. As you can see, it's almost brown, and like we got the caramelization parts in the bottom. So that's exactly what we want. So like we're going to deglaze it with wine. So like we're going to have amazing caramelization taste and a good brown color from all these bottom caramelized parts. So like that's exactly something we want. Don't worry, it's not burning. If you whisk it enough, it's going to be fine. The onion is just releasing the sugar of inside of it. So like just keep going what you're doing. You're in a good shape. Like I said, because like we're going to deglaze them with wine. So like we're going to all the taste, all of the flavor from the bottom part. We just need a few more minutes, then it's almost done. Don't forget to whisk it though. If you don't whisk it, it might get burned. So for the soup, like I said, we're going to deglaze it with wine. It's a red wine. I'm using red wine for the color because like I want a rich, deeper color from my soup. But like if you like, you can use white wine. And also I'm going to use beef stock. You can do it with vegetable stock if you want to make it all vegetarian. It's not a problem. You can just use whatever you want, but like for flavor, I'm going to do it with beef stock. And also, I'm going to mix beef stock with water because like sometimes only with beef stock it can be kind of heavy. So to avoid that heaviness, you can just use like beef stock and regular water mix. So like it's going to give you a lighter taste to your onion soup. Or just you can go with regular, just with beef stock. Or like I said, if you want to go full vegetarian, just vegetable stock. So our onions are getting the color like perfect. As you can see, the dark color is coming just here, and like we need a few more minutes. So we're almost there. Just a few more minutes. Then we're going to add a little bit of flour to give thickness. It's all optional. If you don't want, you don't need to use flour. But like, I want that little bit thick texture. That's why I'm going to use just a little bit of flour, not too much. For that much, maybe half spoon or something like that, just to give some thickness. But you can just skip the flour part and just go add your wine for glazing. But like, I'm just going to use a little bit of flour. Like, if you remember, we really had thick cuts. Well, right now, it's all gone. It's all melted. That's why I said, like, don't go with the thin slices, thin cuts, or you're going to have basically nothing. So, like, from this soup, you can have from that much 2 portions, or maybe if you go a little less, 3. But, like, we're almost there to deglaze everything.
Now it's time for commercials. Let's have a break.
Now the onions are ready. As you can see, they're all brown, caramelized really well. Now I'm going to give a half spoon of flour, like I said, like just for some thickness. You can just avoid that part. If you don't want, you don't need to add any flour at all, but I want some thickness. I'm sauteing them roughly 1 minute. I don't want to get any raw flour taste. Then we're just going to deglaze it with wine. So we're going to get all these goodies inside of our pot, all those caramelized parts, and we're just going to deglaze. I'm roughly sauteing flour for a minute, but don't burn it, don't burn anything. So wine, Like I said, it's all optional. You don't need to use alcohol. You can use just vinegar also, a good quality vinegar. Or you can just flambe it and you can make it alcohol free. So I'm giving some wine. Yep, that's good. And I'm deglazing everywhere. Every bit inside of my pot. Yep, that's enough. Roughly a half glass around. So I'm getting all the sides everywhere. And cooking the wine also a little bit. And deglaze it. Getting everything from the sides to bottom. And then, like I said, I'm going to use beef stock, but like you can use vegetable stock or whatever you want. Great. Now I'm adding my beef stock. And getting all the sides and everything. And I'm going to add a little bit of pure water to make it a little bit lighter. But if you like just all the beef taste, you can just go with all beef stock. No problem at all. So we're waiting this one to boil. After boiling it, if you remember, we already made a spice bag. We have rosemary, thyme, and bay leaf. And I'm adding 1 clove of garlic. I just smashed it to get more aroma from it. I'm putting it in my bag too. So it's just going to give flavor to my soup, but like I'm not going to get any pieces of garlic. So just for the flavor. I'm tying it up. Then when it starts boiling, I'm just going to put it in my soup and just gonna take it out after it's cooked. After start boiling, after I put in my spice bag into it, roughly I'm going to cook it like for 20 minutes, 30 minutes more. It depends on the smell, the taste and everything. But like maximum 30 minutes will be enough for my soup. Then like we're going to slice a bread and going to serve it with cheese and bread. We're going to show you that part. We're waiting for this one to boil. We can start with our pasta. It's spaghetti puttanesca. It's from Italy, like I said. It's a great and easy dish. So what we're going to do is, first, garlic. I'm going to use 2 garlics. Just peel them. Getting all the garlic. I'm just going to peel them roughly. Then make them a little bit small. Okay, great. Garlic ready. Now, my pan. Ready. Olive oil. A good olive oil. Don't make it too hot. Don't wait way too much or you're going to burn your garlic, and burnt garlic, something we don't want. It's going to give really bad smell and bad taste. So like, don't ever burn your garlic at all. Waiting oil. So, first, garlic in. Like I said, don't wait way too much. We're going to burn it. Just give aroma to your oil and don't burn it. The second one, we're going to use anchovy, capers, olive oil, and dried chili. You can use just chili flakes instead of dried chili, but like I like the heat from the dried chili, so that's why I'm using them instead of just chili flakes. So like, we're sauteing our garlic. While it's getting hot, I'm getting my anchovy for that good umami taste. Just small, you can use whole, but like I like to chop them. So like I'm using anchovy, putting them in my pot, or in my skillet. I'm using around 4 to 5 anchovy, but like you can use less if you don't like that much fish, if you're not a fish fan, but like it gives a good flavor to it. So like I'm just sauteing it. I'm just going to let it melt. And my soup is ready, it's boiling. So like I'm adding my spice bag into my soup. Perfect. It's in, close the lid, and like boil it for 20 minutes while we're doing our pasta. It will be all ready. Let anchovy melt. It's melting and you can smash it a little bit, but don't let the garlic burn. That's the most important part of this. Now, dried chili. I'm using 1 dried chili. If you like heat more, you can use, but I'm going to use with seeds. So that's what's going to give heat to my pasta. As you can see, I'm flavoring my oil as much as I can with all this stuff. Yep, chili. Don't use super high fire or you're going to burn everything. You don't want that, right? So as you can see, my anchovies are already melting. And next, capers. I'm adding capers. You can chop them, but like I'm using them whole. Capers in. Then olives, black olives. I'm adding my black olives, whole black olives. Let it stir. And homemade tomato sauce. Like it's like canned tomato. If you want, you can buy it just from a store, but like I have homemade. It's a good one, and I'm adding my tomato, my sauce. Kill it. So like I'm just going to mix it with everything. Great. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. If you don't want, if you have a more watery tomato, you don't need to, but like that's kind of thick. I'm just adding just a little touch of water. So I'm going to simmer it, but like make it as a sauce, not super thick puree. That's why I'm adding some tomato. It smells good. So let it simmer around 20 minutes, 15 minutes. While it's simmering, you can add your pasta into your water. In my water, it's just salt and water. That's boiling water and salt. You don't need to add olive oil or whatever oil inside your water. It's not necessary. So just salt and water. And we want our pasta al dente, which is not mushy. I'm checking my soup. Oh, nice smell. And like a little bit low fire and let it cook. And also my tomato sauce, it's cooking. I'm lowering the fire also. I'm going to season them in the end because we may need to put more water inside or stock inside my soup. So I'm waiting. I'm just going to season it in the end. While we're going to put them in little pots with cheese. But like this one, you may not need to add salt at all because like it has anchovy, capers, olives. They're all savory salt stuff. So like always check it before adding salt. So, nice. Let it simmer. And I'm going to add salt into my boiling water. Yep. Salt into my boiling water. And pasta in my salty boiling water. You can see all the capers, everything inside my tomato. This is a really good pasta. You'll like it, I promise. We're not going to drain our pasta. We're just going to take it straight from the pot into my sauce. So like all the pasta water and everything will go into my sauce, which will give a good texture to my sauce. I'm checking my soup. It has a good texture. I like it. Yep. My sauce. As you can see, it's all pure puree tomato, real tomato. No fake stuff at all. It's all homemade, real. So 7 to 8 minutes for pastas, 10 to 15 minutes for sauce, and 20 minutes for the soup. I'll show you in the end everything. So now pasta is ready. My spaghetti is ready. So I'm just directly adding my pasta into my sauce. Give it a toss to your pasta. Give it a toss. Make it one with the sauce. Making sure the pasta gets all the sauce to everywhere. And I'm just adding a touch of pasta water. into my sauce. Like I said, they're al dente. I'm not fully cooked them, so they keep cooking in my sauce. It's all covered in sauce, as you can see. And that's pasta Puttanesca. And for my soup, French onion soup, this one is ready. Just give it a 2 tosses and it's ready. Turn off the gas. And we're serving it immediately. And for my soup, what I'm going to do is I'm getting my soup into my bowl. And beautiful color as you